today I want to kind of talk about how AI can help you write your book. Hi, I'm Hananya Leclerc. I am a multi-genre writer who shares tips and tricks and talks about her life. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. With the recent development of KDP announcing that they're not going to accept AI written books, it has kind of become a different topic nowadays with AI and writing. So I want to kind of go into how AI can still help you write your book, but not write your book for you, because that's not what we're about. If you have not heard of the KDP announcement on AI, then I'll make sure to leave a video link down below from Self-Taught with Andy. He's one of my friends and he did a great job explaining kind of what KDP has outlined now with their new policy. So you might want to check that if you are considering publishing through KDP and might potentially have stuff that is written by AI in your book. So there are a couple things that I can recommend AI for, and that is not the writing part of your story. The way that I have used AI in the past is more or less for the research aspect of my books, or sometimes my video ideas. If I am stuck on what I want to record, what videos I could record, I use it for that kind of purpose. And then I also use it for brainstorming some story ideas or brainstorming my video ideas. More so my video ideas than my story ideas, but it can help you for that. And then picking a different word, so we'll get into that, what I mean with that, and then also maybe providing templates for you. So those are kind of the things that I will get into in this video. Research. So for a research aspect, I can tell you that like in previous days, whenever I was writing my book, I would Google and I will try and find whatever I could on a certain topic, or if I was unsure if things were used in a certain period. With me writing my historical romance book, it was kind of a struggle trying to find some things on Google. Obviously, I probably didn't research it well enough, or I didn't type in the right search terms for me to find what I was looking for in Google, but it kind of can become very time consuming, and that was not always nice. So the way that I have handled this now is I try and see if I can do it through AI if I am unsure how to find something. So one of the things that I have on my screen right now is something that I've tried to research, and that says, did romance books exist in the 1200s? So one of the ideas I have that I'm writing is a historical romance book, more or less. I call it a historical romance book, but at the same time it's not really historical. I have gotten into that in different videos, so I'm not going to get into it here, but I wanted to find out if romance books existed around kind of that time period, because I had my main character read something that was more or less a romance book, and I was like, did I even have that in that time period, or am I just making this up? So I researched kind of through AI to see, did they have that? And what ChatGPT did for me here was kind of outline, they did have it, it wasn't very common, but here's an example, and that is actually something that I bought so that I can research that and kind of see what kind of romance would be written during that time period, so I can reference that for my main character. So that is something that can help you kind of with your research if you're unsure how to find it on Google. This might have actually popped up on Google, I don't know, I haven't tried, but some of the things like that can help you with researching your book. I also have on the side, you have some more things that I tried and find was Royal Guard qualities, for example, so that I can find out what kind of qualities I should be putting in my main characters. This is more so for my character building and my character profiles for some of the guards that I have in my story. Then, for example, finding a critique partner, what might be some of the things that AI recommends doing when you are trying to find a critique partner as a writer. I use this for one of my video ideas that I did on how to find a critique partner and kind of what a critique partner is. So I had this, I didn't really use all of them because I was like, I don't know, but it gave me some ideas on how to approach this and get my kind of creative juices flowing for writing the script of my video idea. Then I had what would princesses eat in the 1200s. I did a couple of questions there because I wanted to kind of find out what they would be eating and what they had in the 1200s. That is kind of the time period I'm choosing for this. Color, because in that time period they might have different colors that they used, so I kind of wanted to find out common things, and would they wear something on their heads? If so, what would it be? And those kind of things are easy to kind of search and find with AI. So that is something that I've been doing more and more, is asking AI for the answer to my questions that I might have when I'm writing the books. The way that I usually write books is I will start writing and I will pop in, make sure I research this, and then spend kind of some other time trying to research these things, because in previous days I couldn't find my answers quickly and I would be taking out of writing the book and spending hours and hours trying to find the answer I was looking for. And with AI, it makes it a little bit quicker, so I can either go on and write the story, or if it's something that might be important for my story and it might be something that changes how I implement it in my story or change how I write the story. For example, a color might not be as specific to your story. So if you're, for example, referencing that she was wearing a purple dress and then you find out purple wasn't really a color that time period that you're writing, then you're like, okay, well, I'll just change it up and call it blue. That might not be that big of a change later on if you're doing the edits, but if you're writing something into your story where they're, for example, I don't know, playing with a ball and they're kind of playing soccer, and then you find out that soccer wasn't a thing and they didn't have a ball in that time period, then you're gonna have to rewrite that whole scene. That's why you kind of have to think about, when you're writing your story, what you do need to research immediately and what you don't need to research immediately. So I want to make sure that you think about that. But with ChatGPT, it makes it so much easier to research your things. So that's what I use it for mainly. Then I've already kind of touched upon it with the brainstorming aspect of the ChatGPT or AI in general. So you can also see here I have choosing a main character. How would people do this? What are kind of the tips and tricks that AI recommends when choosing a main character for your book? And here it comes up with some ideas. I don't usually copy paste whatever they say. I usually try and see, oh, okay, well, that's actually maybe a good idea. I'll rewrite it in my own language and kind of do it that way. So I do have some ideas that I pull from this, and then usually whenever I see these, I'm like, oh, but this can also help, and this can also help, and this can also help, and then I come up with more in my head. But it sometimes sparks kind of an idea or kind of a brainwave, if you would call it that, where it kind of sparks the ideas for you. So it can really help with that. Then, for example, a weekly to-do list plan, what would you include on that? Or even rewriting some stuff. So what I've used this for in the past, which I haven't done so very recently anymore, but what I used to do is kind of run my videos through an AI software that would write a description of my video. Then I would ask ChatGPT to summarize it in kind of a few short lines so I can include that in my video descriptions. I haven't been doing that at all because I'm just trying to write them on my own now, but at a certain time in my video career, I would say, I was like, I don't even know what my videos are about anymore. I've edited them weeks ago. I don't know what they're about. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know what to write as a description or as a title. So I tried and kind of asked ChatGPT to help me with that. So there are certain ways that you can definitely use this in different ways. I've also asked it once to do kind of a beat sheet way of my story. I said, could you please continue this outline based on Save the Cat story beats? And then it kind of continued that because I had asked it to do that and then it would not do all of it, obviously. So I had to kind of split it up. But it was kind of a fun way to experiment with ChatGPT. I don't know if I would actually use this, but it's fun to kind of play around with. Definitely make sure that you don't copy paste whatever is in there into your books, because you want to always have it kind of used as a tool, but don't let it replace you as a writer. So that is something that I do want to mention. Don't copy paste. Don't just say, okay, this is all I'm gonna do. Make sure you have some creative input into your own work and don't just take ChatGPT's word for it. They're not always correct, you know. So another way that you can use AI is to help you pick a different word, because how many times have you researched a different word on the Thesaurus or gone to some website for dictionary stuff where you were like, can I find a different synonym for this word? If not, am I really the only one? Because I have done this so many times. Sometimes what happens is you use a word a lot and you repeat it a lot and you're like, I need to find a different way to describe this, or a different word that means more or less the same thing, but just so that I can mix it up a little bit. That's what I've done so many times. Or sometimes I am thinking of a word in my head and I can't find the word. Like it's like, okay, I want to describe kind of like that, but what is the word? And I think maybe ChatGPT can help you with that. I haven't actually tried this, but what I'm thinking of is if you, for example, ask, hey, can you give me more examples of this? So let's just try that out. We're going to try this. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but something that I've written down, for example, is give me a list of 10 different words for beautiful. And then we're just gonna run that. We're gonna ask it that and see what it says. So here you have an immediate list of 10 different words that you can use. So it says gorgeous, stunning, exquisite, breathtaking, radiant, alluring, mesmerizing, enchanting, lovely, dazzling. So I think that this is a good example of how ChatGPT can help you with like coming up with different words. So for example, if you say, oh, this is a beautiful view, you can now say it's a breathtaking view, and that might improve your writing. Or you can say, wow, this view is mesmerizing, or, you know, dazzling, or whatever you want to call it. But I kind of think that this might be a good way to use ChatGPT as well, to kind of find the different words that you might want to include. If I think about like something else, you could do, what it would be the word to describe a pit in the stomach feeling, type feeling. And then let's see. Word would use to describe a pit in the stomach is nauseous or nauseated. There you go. I don't think this is exactly what I meant, but something like that. You might have to fiddle around a little bit with the commands, because the more specific you are, the more specific the AI is going to get as well with returning your question. But these are kind of some of the things that I would say for finding different words or finding the word that you might be looking for. The word that you might be looking for part might not work specifically how I thought it was going to work. I hadn't tried it out, so we're gonna see, but you might be able to fiddle around with it a little bit on what you want to find. Then my last point I had on how to use kind of AI to benefit you is potentially having it do a kind of template for you. I haven't tried this out, but I was thinking about my video idea and I was like, you know what, it might be able to give you kind of a template for maybe a synopsis or an elevator pitch or something like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Could you give me a template of what to include in an elevator pitch for a fiction book? Let's see what it says. Okay. Okay, so an elevator pitch for a fiction book. Wow, this is going really fast. For a fiction book, should be concise and engaging, capturing the essence of your story in a brief, compelling manner. Exactly. Here's a template to how you create an effective elevator pitch for your fiction books. So it says introduction, main conflict, unique selling point, genre and tone, compelling characters, setting, resolution and open question, and call to action. And then here's an example of an elevator pitch using this template. So there you go. It gives you kind of what you should include, what it is about, and then gives you an example of how it could be done. And that might be helpful if you're trying to create an elevator pitch for your story, or if you're creating a very short synopsis of your story, or if you want to, for example, have something query related, you could probably ask ChatGPT to give you kind of an example or a sort of template that you could use for that. So here just kind of gives you an idea of how to approach this, and that would definitely be something that I would use in the future to kind of get an idea and a sense of how to approach certain things in my writing. So writing the synopsis or writing the blurb, writing query letters, or an elevator pitch, stuff like that, that I'm unsure of how to start or how to approach. I usually just go and find some YouTube videos, but this might be a good alternative to kind of find out some examples and kind of what I should include, what I shouldn't include in your pitch. So hopefully that helps. So as I've kind of mentioned before, something to really take into consideration when using AI is however more specific you are with your question, the more specific the AI is going to come back to you. So I found that, for example, asking for a list of things, so asking for an X amount of words that mean the same thing, or asking for give me 10 ideas for this, or give me 10 examples of this. Stuff like that. If you use a specific amount, it's going to come back to you that way. And sometimes you need to train the AI a little bit to get what you need. Really, if you, for example, ask a question and it interprets it in a different way, you can say, hey, I actually meant it this way. I've had it kind of trip up a little bit sometimes when I was asking them to rewrite my description in a first person and shorter. It would write it shorter in first person, and I would ask it to write it shorter again, and it would turn it back to a third person point of view. And I was like, hey, I wanted this in a first person point of view. And then they said, oh, apologies, I will rewrite it again. So try and be specific in what you're asking for. I know there are bound to be a ton more things that you could use AI for when you want to write your book and you want it to help write your book. But I explicitly want to say it can help you write the book. It's not there to write the book for you. It can help you write the book that you want to write. And it can just help kind of get you in the brainstorming phase. It can help you with the researching and help you kind of get your brain flowing in the direction of writing this book. And I want to be specific in that I have explicitly titled this video how it can help you write your book, because I don't want this to write the book for you. You shouldn't be doing that, in my opinion. So if you want to write a book, then you have to put in the work. And I know it's not always easy. I know writing is hard, but hopefully this can help you kind of get through it. Also, we have a lovely community of people that are doing the same thing, that are also putting in the hard work to write the stories and write the books. So don't let it bring you down. Look at the community and try and find some uplifting people that are going to help you and support you in your journey. I hope that I can be one of those people. If you want to keep me around, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below so that you can stay tuned for all my upcoming videos. And if you leave a comment, I will make sure to reply, because I tend to reply to all of the comments that are left on my videos. If I am a little bit late, I apologize, but I usually get to them even if it's, you know, after a couple days. I will reply. So hopefully you'll leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your book is going. If you need a little pick-me-up, if you need a little support, if you need a little bit of a positive mindset, if you need a positive message, if you need something that can help you stay motivated, just leave a message down below. Let us know, and we'll make sure to get to you and hopefully support you and get you back on track if you're potentially not on track, which, I mean, who really is, to be honest. I hope this video was helpful for you, and with that, I'm gonna leave you. If you enjoy this, then the next video shall be linked somewhere on screen whenever that is live, so I hope to see you there.